All right, Unit 10, Part 2. Okay, so we've just seen that we are not capable of formally capturing or expressing the validity of this argument, which is clearly intuitively valid, using the resources of sentential logic. We can't do it, okay? That's why we have predicate logic, quantify logic. That's why we are starting on this new system of logic. So now I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of where we're going. Unit 10 itself introduces you to the first basic analysis of that we're using in sentential logic into the new, predicate logic into the new elements. Introduces you to propositional functions, names, but I want to give you a bit of overview of where we're going. Remember, this section of the course, units 10 to 16, all in predicate logic or quantify logic. After that, you have your third exam, which is the last one you absolutely have to take. So where are we going with all of this? So look at this argument. Over here, we have how we symbolize this argument, and we are heading towards proofs. Unit 15 will introduce you to proofs in this logic after you've learned how to symbolize in this new logic, and you've learned the basic elements and whatnot, and I'll say a few things about what we're doing in later chapters. But eventually, where we're going, where we're heading, is towards proofs. Okay, proofs in this new form of logic. Okay, so first of all, these are, so I'll show you how to, now looking further ahead, show you how to prove this, but not only to symbolize, which will allow me to introduce you to the new elements and the new mode of analysis, symbolize the two premises, but I'll sort of say a bit about how we actually prove the conclusion in this new logic, right? And that will sort of go over your head. I'll be talking about things even from Unit 15, which is where you're introduced to the new rules. There are 4 new rules, only 4 new rules for proofs in this logic. You still use all the old rules, as we'll see right now. Still use all the old rules for proofs that you are familiar with from sentential logic. Don't forget them. But there'll be 4 new rules introduced in Unit 15, governing the use of quantifiers. I'll tell you what they are in a minute. So this is just an overview of where you're going. Don't be worried if a lot of this is over your head, because it's just, as I say, telling you where we're going as we go forward. So the first thing is, the analysis of the sentences is different. So in sentential logic, as we saw, all Australians are surfers, just got a simple capital letter, it's treated as a simple sentence. Dan is Australian, just gets a simple capital letter. Dan is a surfer, the same thing. In predicate logic, we analyze the simple sentences into their component parts. Most fundamentally, as you should be familiar, and you're reminded in chapter 10, most sentences, not all, but most sentences, and the exceptions will be important to us, but most sentences can be analyzed into a subject and a predicate. So the subject is the thing of which you are speaking, and the predicate is what it is you are saying of the thing that you are speaking. So Dan is Australian. It's the verb, in this case is, which marks the separation from the subject and the predicate. So Dan is Australian. Who or what am I speaking of? Dan, that's my subject, right? What am I saying of Dan? Predicating is saying something of something, predicating of a subject. I'm saying of him that he is Australian. Okay, so we analyze, we treat those elements differently, okay? So the analysis of Dan is Australian is, it's going to be symbolized as so, A-D, okay? So this has certain elements, right? Sorry, you want to say hello? Come and say hello. My daughter's here, listen. Say hi to the kids.
Hi.
They closed the New York City schools, so we're getting by. All right, Dan is Australian. Okay, it's broken up into elements. All right, we've got, this is capital A, little d. The little, why is this frozen?